Here now to respond is Harvard Law professor emeritus and author of the introduction to the published version of the Mueller report, Alan Dershowitz. Professor, good to see you tonight. Why not fight this out in court in an effort to clear your name?
Well, I am going to. I have to do two things. One, defend the First Amendment right of every American to respond to false charges. And second, if the case does go to court, to show that she is a liar. Let me repeat categorically. She made up the whole story. I never met this woman. It was part of an extortion plot to obtain $1 billion from Leslie Wexner, a businessman, the man who owns Victoria's Secret. Her own lawyer admitted to me on tape that it would be impossible for me to have been in the various locations at those times, and that his client is, quote, wrong, simply wrong. I commissioned an investigation from the former head of the FBI, who concluded that she was wrong. Her own lawyers withdrew the charges, saying it was a mistake to do so. This same woman who accused me accused Bill Clinton and Al Gore and Tipper Gore of being on Jeffrey Epstein's island, and the reports of the Secret Service.
Bill Clinton did go to the island, right? Yeah, Alan, Bill Clinton did.
No, he was never on the island.
But he never went on the, he was never there ever.
No, he was never there. He issued a statement the other day saying he was never on the island, and Secret Service records confirmed that he was never on the island.
There was discrepancies, though, Alan. Wait. There was discrepancies on other matters with Bill Clinton. He said he was only on, what, 2 flights, turns out, or 4. It turns out there were 6. I mean, he said Secret Service was always with him. It turns out they weren't always with him when he was on Epstein's plane. So I wouldn't throw yourself in with Bill Clinton on this. Necessarily.
Let's talk about Al Gore. Let's talk about Al Gore. She claimed that Al and Tipper Gore were on the island. Not only did Al and Tipper Gore not know Jeffrey Epstein, but guess who Al Gore's lawyer was? David Boies, the same lawyer who claims that this woman made these improper, that there were improper sexual allegations. He could easily have just called his client, Al Gore, and said, Al, were you ever on Jeffrey Epstein's island? And he would have told her what he's told everybody else. No, he was never on the island. He didn't know her at all. The interesting thing is that Epstein is being prosecuted now, and they're not using this witness. The FBI and the U.S. Attorney's Office are not using this witness because they know she's lying. They know she has a long record of perjury.
Does she have that same lawyer that you said you have on tape? Is he still representing her?
Yes. Oh, yeah. It's David Boies, who has, and his law firm, have one of the worst ethical records in the history of the United States. They have more ethical charges against them than any other major law firm.
Yeah, it's a big law firm.
It's a big law firm, but he's the head. He's the head of the law firm. He was charged with unethical conduct by the New York Times. In the Weinstein case, he was charged with questionable conduct. In the Theranos case, he has absolutely no credibility. But in this case, he knows that his client made up the whole story, and he told me that, and I have it on tape. All I did was repeat, basically on tape, what he had told me.
That's devastating.
Namely that she was wrong, simply wrong. It's devastating. I do have it, and it'll be played in court.
As a former defense attorney, if you have that on tape, that's bad. All right. Journalist Vicky Ward made this comment about told Acosta would make you told Acosta you would make mincemeat out of the women. Let's listen.
The light that the Miami Herald shed on the victims' stories that were incredibly poignant and incredibly credible. Remember, back in 2008, Alan Dershowitz told Alexandra Acosta, and told journalists he was going to make mincemeat of these women.
What does that mean?
There's no truth to that at all. We had no truth. I met with Acosta only once with a group of lawyers. There were probably 15 lawyers and FBI agents. They have notes. I'm sure it would confirm. I never said anything like that. What we did say was that there was no credible evidence that Epstein at that time had transported any underage woman in interstate commerce, and that was required. By the way, Virginia Roberts was not underage. Her own lawyer and she have all admitted now that she didn't start working for Epstein until she was 17 years old, and that she doesn't even claim that she had sex with the numerous people. She claims she had sex with former American congressmen until she was well over age. So she's lied just about everything. And of course, it's the job of the defense attorney to make sure that the evidence is based on credible evidence.
I can't believe I don't know the answer to this question, but I don't. Do you still represent you know, him? And when did you stop representing him, Epstein?
No, I stopped representing him when the deal was made, and I haven't seen him in years. And, you know, if his lawyers call me and ask me a question about the deal, of course, as a lawyer, I have to answer that question. Look, I was introduced to him by the Lady Rothchild. The people he hung out with at the time were the president of Harvard, the provost of Harvard.
Yeah,
my relationship with him was academic, We went to conferences. We had seminars in his office. None of us had any inkling that he had this other life. And as soon as we learned about it, obviously, all of us ended any kind of a social relationship. I then became his lawyer. I'm proud of the fact that I represented him. I represented a lot of controversial people, and we got a deal. Some people criticize the deal, but you can't criticize the defense attorney for trying to get the best deal possible. But I want to categorically again state, I never met this woman. She made it up completely. I will continue to say that till the day I die, and when I die, my children will continue to say it. It's a total categorical lie.
All right, Alan, we appreciate you coming on tonight. This story is explosive, and obviously the underlying allegations against Epstein are horrific. I appreciate you joining us tonight.